Hey y'all, welcome back to a very impromptu video. This is going to be like a bonus video that you guys didn't know was coming, so that's fun and exciting. I am doing this video because I was tagged by Chad Marvelous here on YouTube to do the doll collector tag, which I didn't expect and I'm very honored. I will have his video linked in the description and also in the cards so you can check out his tag video. But basically the tag is like a set of, I think, 20 questions where you go through and answer questions about your collection. So I was very excited to get tagged. Immediately had to sit down after I found, all of my answers and everything. And I had to sit down to film. Before we can get into my answers for the tag though, I have to, tag other people. So I would love to tag Christina Land here on YouTube, Peachy Reviews, and then also I Heart Reviewing Stuff. I will have all of their channels linked in the description down below as well. You should definitely go check them out. They're lovely human beings. So yeah, it would be really cool to see their answers to this tag. So thank you again to Chad Marvelous for tagging me. But there's a lot to get through. I feel like this is going to take me a second. So we're just going to go ahead and get started. He had the questions all in the description box of his video, so I will have them in the description box of my video as well. And obviously you guys are more than welcome to either make videos with answers to these questions, or if you just want to talk about them in the comments down below. I would love to hear everybody's input, but I can't tag everybody who watches this video because that would be a lot. But yeah, I would love to hear all of your inputs, all of the answers. Feel free to run with this and just have a ton of fun with it. But with that, let's go ahead and get started with these. So first question is upcoming releases I am most excited for. The first one is definitely Monster High Skulltimate Secrets Iridescent series. With my luck, those of you who have been around for a while will know this. Every time I talk about a line that is about to drop, it tends to drop immediately, in the time between me filming and me editing. So with my luck, these will suddenly be available by the time this video comes out. But as of time of filming, those are ones that I'm really, really excited for. Specifically, I'm very excited for the Cleo. But overall, I think that it's a really pretty line, so I'm excited for it. The other one, I can't show photos, and I'm sorry, but I'm just nervous about copyright, and all we have are leaks that have been circulating on Instagram. I'm sure they're on Twitter also. I know they're on TikTok. So you can find them if you're looking for them, but I can't show photos because they're not official photos. But I am very excited for the Rainbow High Runway dolls. I'm extremely excited for Poppy. She looks absolutely beautiful and I definitely want to get her. The other ones I'm kind of undecided on, and so mostly I'm really excited for them because I want to see them with proper stock photos so I can really get a good look at all their details and kind of make my mind up about them. But those are probably the two that I am most looking forward to in this current moment. Okay, second question is top 5 brands you want to collect, and I actually don't have 5 that I can answer with this. I only have 1 because I'm very fortunate to be in a situation where in general if I like something I can get it as long as it's a playline price. Collector dolls are kind of a different situation, but as far as brands go, the brands that I collect are the brands that I want to collect. The only exception is that if I had just unlimited money, I probably would be more of a Disney limited edition collector. There are a lot of really, really cool limited edition dolls that Disney releases, but they're anywhere from $120 to $150 a pop, but I don't have that kind of cash. So that would be the only one that I think I could properly answer this question with. It's not 5. But at least I have 1. Okay, then we have the brands that I currently collect. You can see a lot of them behind me in videos, but we have Monster High, any generation of Monster High. If I like the doll, I'm gonna buy it. I'm a huge sucker for Monster High, so obviously them. Barbie on occasion, mostly it's older secondhand Barbies, but I feel like I have enough Barbies to merit mentioning her in this video. Then Rainbow High and Shadow High, Bratz, and LOL OMG and LOL Tweens. I do have other dolls from other brands. I have a couple of Na 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 dolls, I have a couple of Lala Loopsies in the corner here, but I don't really actively seek them out and I don't have a ton of them, so I'm not really counting them. So, I guess I just mentioned them, so I kind of am counting them. But those are the main ones that I collect. Then we have my oldest doll, and this is where we actually get to start looking at dolls. Sorry, I know it's been kind of boring up until now, but I have a whole bunch of dolls on the ground here that I have to show you guys. So my oldest doll in my collection, the very first doll that I ever bought as an adult collector, is this Venus Miss Flytrap doll. She's so cute. Her hands are a little wonky. I have not posed her very well. Hold on, this is gonna bother me. Oh, poor Venus. There we go. Quick little editing apology here. Sometimes my camera likes to focus on the dolls behind me I don't know why, but that happened literally throughout this entire video. So all the dolls I have to show you are slightly out of focus. I am really sorry. Hopefully you can get a good enough look at them, but I kind of just wanted to warn you ahead of time that that's going to be an ongoing problem. My bad, y'all. Very cute. I had dolls as a kid, but all of those I lost to, you know, the edginess of being a teenager and being like, I'm too cool for dolls. And then of course in my later teens I got back into Monster High. So this is currently the doll that I've had in my collection for the longest, the one that got me started into properly doll collecting. So she will always have a very, very special place in my heart. Venus, my love. She's so good. She's just such a good doll. Like, I feel so happy to have such a pretty doll as my oldest doll. Okay, next question is the newest doll, and this one is actually one that I haven't even gotten out of the box. She's so new. Monster Ball Cleo. I technically also got Monster Ball Laguna at the same time, but she is currently soaking, getting her hair washed, so like, she's also included here. But the newest doll that I have purchased is this Cleo doll. I'm very excited to be able to get her out, like a little preview for what's to come on the channel, I guess. Alright, question 6 is a recent gift, which is kind of hard for me to answer because the people in my life, like my family doesn't buy me dolls, my friends don't really buy me dolls because I'm picky, and none of them are into dolls enough to know what I want. You know, like it's not like they also collect so they know what I'm interested in or they understand what I'm talking about really when I talk about dolls that I'm interested in. So the only person who really buys me dolls is my husband. But that being said, he works and I don't. I'm like a stay-at-home spouse, so like I take care of the cooking and cleaning and everything, and like that's not something that's forced. I just want to say that really quick. It's just like what works for us and what makes us both happy. So he technically buys every single doll in my collection at this point, so I don't know what really counts, but technically speaking, the doll that he has bought for me most recently is one that actually hasn't arrived and won't arrive till I think July. But the Pretty and Punk Bratz repros had links. I don't know if they're still up. I got it from my heart reviewing stuff. Had links up on Amazon, and so he purchased the Chloe doll for me. So again, I don't really know if it counts as like a gift, but that's the closest answer I have. This is totally unrelated, but my hair was absolutely unmanageable when I was trying to get ready, so I'm sorry if I look not good. I just like, I don't know, it's in a weird growing out phase, like it's not quite where I want it to be, so a little untamable sometimes. Anyway though, current favorite doll. This is a very hard one because it does change very frequently, but the doll that I find myself thinking about most lately is this Barbie Dolls of the World Princess Edition, the Princess of Portugal. Like, I'm just gonna hide behind her and let you look at her in her glory. Her blurry, out of frame glory. She's so stunning, and I just have such good feelings about this doll. I know I should be showing her to you, but like I want to look at her, and I just love her so much. This whole line, you guys have heard me talk about it ad nauseum at this point. It's such an amazing line and such a beautiful line, but this doll in particular gives me like such a vivid emotion. I don't really know how to describe it, but like I just feel so whole and so happy. I'm like gonna cry when I hold this doll. So she had to be the one that I picked. I don't know if you can see like their heads down here at all. I don't know if they're in frame. That's kind of funny. Okay, next up is all-time favorite, which is even harder to think about than my current favorite because again, it does change all the time. So for this one, I just picked the doll that has been the most consistently my favorite doll, like the one that I kind of go back to most often. It could, again, change as time goes on, but currently my like all-time favorite doll is the original Spectra, whose hair is not looking super, but here she is. So beautiful. Venus, I've said this story before, so I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but if you haven't heard me talk about this before, the Venus doll that I showed you earlier was the first Monster High doll that I've ever bought, and like the first doll that I bought with the intention to collect them. But Spectra is the reason that I started collecting Monster High dolls. I saw images of her online, and she was the doll that made me finally say, okay, I can't like pretend this isn't something that I like anymore. I was kind of embarrassed by it still at the time, but I was like, I can't pretend that I don't love these dolls. And Spectra was the one that made me finally decide to go ahead and overcome that like fear of society judging me and buy dolls again. And so even though she wasn't like the first Monster High doll I bought, she was the catalyst to literally everything that is happening today. So she is one that I constantly go back to, and even though she's not necessarily like my favorite fashion wise, like there are other clothing pieces that I like more, she just means genuinely so much, because nothing that I have here today would be here without Spectra. So I feel like she's very much earned the all-time favorite spot. Okay, next question is all-time favorite pet. And it was really funny watching Chad Marvelous's video, because I felt like so many of the answers that he gave were answers that I was going to have to give. So he talked about with this question the fact that he doesn't really buy dolls for pets. Like, pets are kind of very much secondary. He doesn't have super strong opinions with most of them. And I do feel the same way. Like, if a doll comes with a pet, that's cool, especially like if it's well designed and thematic to the doll. But I'm buying dolls for the dolls, you know? So this was kind of hard for me, but I ended up settling on the Gen 3 version of Count Fabulous. I just feel like he's a little cutie. He's kind of like a cat-bat hybrid this gen, and y'all know I love cats. I also love bats, so I felt like this was an appropriate choice, but it was kind of difficult just because I shockingly don't have super strong feelings about this. I will say that if I had the Coffin Bean playset for Monster High G3, unquestionably my favorite pet would be Gooby. That's the only one I have strong opinions about. But yeah, I don't have the playset because I'm not going to buy the whole playset for a little glowing cat. But I want that little glowing cat. Okay, the next question is the most expensive doll in my collection, and this was kind of a hard one because I have been collecting for a decent amount of time, and so I do tend to forget over time how much I've spent on dolls. So I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure the most expensive doll that I have is this Disney limited edition Kita doll. She's the only Disney limited edition doll that I own right now, and I had to get her when she came out because I feel like Kita is such like an underrated character, an underappreciated character, at least within merchandise. I feel like there's a good fandom for Atlantis and for Kita, but like she doesn't get the most merchandise, and she's just so stunning. I think she was $130. I want to say that was the cost, and I'm pretty sure that was the most expensive that I've bought. Again, I could be wrong because I do forget, but like she came to mind because I know how expensive Disney limited edition dolls are, and she was very much worth it. I love her so much. Then the follow-up question is, which is the least expensive doll? And I have definitely had dolls that I've spent less on, but some of you will probably know that I recently have been kind of doing a collection purge and getting rid of a bunch of dolls that don't bring me happiness. And so a lot of those dolls actually went out with that. Like the Barbie Extra Minis are the ones that I think of like right off the bat. Those are pretty cheap dolls. So those might have been it. But the least expensive doll that I still have, Deline to get this one, is Natasha Zima, because I wasn't going to get her. I bought her on clearance at Sam's for like $13. And it was only after unboxing her that I realized how amazing she was. And now I love her. Like, she's so stunning. Every time I get to look at her, I feel so much happiness. So she was an absolute bargain. Like, I'm really glad that I got her. But yeah, I think she's the one that I've spent the least amount of money on that I still have. Next question is my favorite doll brand, and this is unquestionably Monster High. It's always going to be Monster High. They were the first dolls that I properly collected. They will always have a very, very special place in my heart. Like, other dolls are cool. Barbie has a lot of nostalgia for me. I think that Bratz dolls can be really fun. LOL's got some bangers. Like, Rainbow High started this channel, so they're also very important to me. But I feel like nothing will compare to Monster High. Like, as a teenager, buying Monster High dolls, I found a love for collecting. I rediscovered a love for dolls that I was trying to suppress. And I feel like I just found a community and a sense of belonging within the brand of Monster High. So kind of deep, sorry. Getting a little personal here. But yeah, even if other dolls objectively look better, I feel like nothing can replace the feeling of Monster High for me. Alrighty, the next question is Unopened Dolls, which I only have two, because those of you who have been here before will probably know that I am strictly an out-of-box collector. I do have the boxes for some dolls. I don't know if you can still see her, but up there is the, like, 2015 Collector Draculaura, who I still have the box for, and I display her with the box, but I opened her up fully, so, like, I don't think that counts for an unopened dolls question. So the only unopened dolls that I have are the Monster Vault Cleo that you saw before, and then one more that I haven't unboxed because I'm waiting to be able to do a secondhand doll haul with her. Usually when I do those videos, I wait until I have 3 or 4 dolls so that I can do a proper haul. Like, it's not really a haul if it's just one doll. So I haven't opened this doll because I'm waiting to unbox her for another video, and that is the Fairytopia Magical Mermaids Christie doll. I'm gonna get emotional. I don't want to cry on camera today. She's so pretty. I have looked for her for so long. I have been following like listings for this doll for so long, trying to find a good deal for her, and I finally ended up buying her, and I am sorry, I'm so emotional about this. She's just so pretty. A lot of the times when you buy this doll in particular out of box, at least the listings that I have found for her out of box, she tends to have damage to her tail, or like she's missing some of her pieces. So she's still in the box for now. She will be removed as soon as I have enough dolls to do a haul video, and I literally can't wait for that day. Like I already love her so much. I'm so excited. So this won't last long, but for now she's an unopened doll. Okay, question number 14 is your favorite doll in your favorite color, which is very specific but very fun. My favorite color is orange, and I feel like it's not the most common like color for dolls. Like if it was pink, I would have so many dolls to choose from because there's so many pink dolls, but orange is a little bit more limited, and this was so hard to pick. So I actually have a couple of honorable mentions. I don't have them on me because they're in display. I didn't want to move them, but I'll put images up on the screen. The Winter Break Poppy doll I think is really beautiful, and then Michelle St. Charles from Series 5 of Rainbow High is absolutely amazing. She's a stunning orange doll, but the one that I had to pick, it's not all orange, but she's orange enough for her to count for me, okay? This is the Mermaid Fantasy Barbie, and like, okay, look, she's got the orange hair. I feel like she counts. She was one that I did in a secondhand doll haul like I was talking about before, and one that I had owned as a kid. I just love her so much. The silicone tail, like, she can flop around. I was so excited to rebuy her again. I think the tail is beautiful. I think her hair is beautiful. It's shockingly soft. I've never washed her hair. Like, she's like 20 years old, and out of the box I didn't even have to wash her hair because it's so pretty. Her top is so beautiful. So I feel like she counts, okay? She's mostly orange. I'm gonna call it, and she's gonna be my favorite orange doll. Okay, the next question is favorite original outfit. So like doll that you didn't remove from the outfit that they came with, and this was extremely difficult for me because I don't really like remove my dolls from their outfits. Like, I talked about this in my Rainbow High like purge and restyling video that I did recently. I am very much someone who tends to leave dolls in the clothes that they came in. Like, I don't really change their outfits very much. I obviously started to do so with Rainbow High a little bit lately, but for the most part, for the vast majority of my time collecting, I don't take dolls out of the outfits that they come in. So like a good percentage, like probably 80% of my collection is still in the outfits that they originally came in. So this was a very hard one to do, but I did have to pick just one doll to answer this question. And for now, that doll is the Princess of England, again from the Dolls of the World Princess Edition line of Barbies. She's just so stunning. I have such strong emotions when it comes to like medieval Renaissance-y. I understand that those are not at all the same time period, but just for the ease of like explaining, I have a weakness for historical ball gowns. I guess we'll put it that way. Like, that whole vibe is just so appealing to me. It feels so much like home to me. And she's absolutely stunning. So again, this is very hard because like so many of my dolls are in their original outfits, but much like the Princess of Portugal, I've been feeling a lot of love for her specifically lately, so that's why she got to be highlighted here. Okay, next up is my worst doll, or I'm guessing like my least favorite doll, which again is hard because I've been doing a collection purge, so I've been getting rid of a lot of the ones that I don't like. So if you'd asked me like 4 weeks ago, I would have a lot more options to choose from, but as of right now, I think it is going to be Luna Madison. I feel so bad saying that, but I don't know. I did literally just restyle her in that restyling video I mentioned, but some of the dolls that I restyled, most of the dolls that I restyled in that video, I look at and now I'm happy and like they bring me more joy. I feel kind of rejuvenated in how much I love them, and I don't feel that way for Luna. Like, I like her outfit. It's not that. She looks fine. Something about her, I still am having a really hard time forming an emotional connection with her. Like, aesthetically, I think it's okay. but I don't know, yeah, I don't know. I don't feel as strongly as I would like to. I'm hoping that that will someday change, or she's gonna have to go in a future, like, collection. Oh, don't fall. Okay. Sorry. My bad for trying to pet your hair. Anyway, I am hoping to be able to form a connection with her. Otherwise, I'll just end up selling her because there's no point in her maintaining a place in my collection if I really can't find a way to like her. But for right now, she's the least favorite doll that I haven't already sold. Next one is very quick. It's my biggest doll, who is also Kita. The Disney Limited Edition dolls, I think, are 17 inches, so that's bigger than any of my other dolls, except I do have Calliope Jellington from Monster High. She's like the same size, but she's in storage right now, so I wasn't going to bring her out, so Kita is the biggest doll. Of course, we are following that up with the smallest doll, and my smallest doll is the Polly Pocket Trapeze Kitties doll. She's like the only Polly Pocket doll that I still have in my collection. She's also in storage, so I'll pop up a picture here. Mine's not in box, but I have the doll. I bought it because I like the cats, and I like the little set that they come with, but I do still have the doll, so she is definitely the tiniest doll in my collection, even though I can't grab her right now. Okay, we are on the last two questions. The first one is the best set, so like best doll that comes in a group, like a 2-pack or a 3-pack or more than that. Or I feel like you could even include if it comes with play sets on this question. But for me, my favorite set is the Storm Twins. They're way over here. I have to work for this. There we go. So these were dolls that I really hadn't intended on purchasing because when they first came out they were so expensive, but these were ones that my husband bought for me, and immediately I was so glad that he did after I unboxed them. Like, they are so beautiful. They stand out in my mind. Like, I've bought many other dolls that come in sets, but there's just something about these dolls. I think they're so well designed and so cohesive. They have such interesting pieces to them. I still think they're some of the best designed Rainbow High or Shadow High dolls produced to date, which is like an impressive thing to say, so they definitely earned the spot for the best set of dolls. And then question number 20, the final question, is the best boy doll. Again, this is one where I agreed with what Chad Marvelous had to say. I don't tend to gravitate towards boy dolls as much, and I wish I did. I genuinely think that they just don't receive quite the same level of attention to detail when they're being designed, because boy dolls, like, just aren't as popular, I guess. They're not produced as often, so I don't have anything against them. I just tend to like them a little bit less. But that being said, I do have two that I wanted to mention here, neither of which I brought out because they're both on display and they're kind of like behind or interlocked with other dolls, and I didn't want to mess up my display too much. Sorry. The first one you might be able to see down here is Deuce from Boo York. That is by far the best Deuce doll to me. I think his sweater is so cool. The glasses are amazing. Like, everything about his design I think is so well executed. Boo York, Cleo, and Deuce were also a good answer for the best doll set because that Cleo is unbelievable. But since we're highlighting boy dolls here, Deuce is one that I wanted to highlight, and the other one I'm kind of cheating here, which is why I included Deuce as well. But I also wanted to highlight one of my custom dolls that I completed from the Rainbow Fairy series that recently came to an end, the Orange Mushroom Fairy, Roar. I love him so much. He's so cute. He's not perfect because I was still learning a lot. I feel like I'm always going to be learning a lot about doll customizing, but you know, he's not perfect, but I hold him very near and dear to my heart. I feel like he looks really cute, and he's a doll that I'm very proud of for having been able to make. So again, kind of cheating because I feel like this tag list is supposed to be more of a like mass-produced dolls tag, but I wanted to highlight him because I would feel so wrong talking about my favorite boy doll without talking about my favorite boy doll. But yeah, guys, that is going to be the end of the tag. I hope this wasn't too long for you. It was very fun to go through and kind of like answer questions about my collection here and kind of highlight different dolls in my collection. So I definitely had a blast today. I hope you guys did enjoy watching. Definitely, like I said, you are free to make videos or just write in the comments the answers to these questions because I would love to hear from you guys about like what your collection kind of looks like and how your collection fits into these tag questions. So yeah, yeah, I would love to hear from you. But again, definitely tagging I Heart Reviewing Stuff, Christina Land, and Peachy Reviews. I look forward to seeing your videos. But with that, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day or your night or whatever it might be. And I will catch you in the next, like, actually scheduled video. Bye, guys.